Another week in Galaxy of Heroes, and we have some more news that may or may change the landscape of the game. Now, there may not have been a lot of news in volume, but the news that came out does have a lot of huge potential. So let's go ahead and start jumping right into it and start giving it either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Hey everyone, this is Finity with Reality Skewed Gamers, and I am here with another episode of Good and Bad, where we go through all of the news from the past week in any kind of game, and this one is focused on Galaxy of Heroes, and we give it either a thumbs up or a thumbs down with a final review on how the week has gone for the game. Now, this can include anything regarding the community, whether it's the news, whether it's the community, it can do anything, but we are going to review it so you can be informed about everything that happens in a very quick short video. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And I'll mention that this first thing that we're going to talk about actually happened last Friday. So just before we posted the video, this actually came out. So this is why we also decided that the good and bad episodes are going to be showing up on the weekends from now on rather than on Friday nights. What came out on Friday? It was the State of the Galaxy. Now, the State of the Galaxy is their monthly kind of review to kind of bridge the gaps in between when you don't get the road ahead and give you a little bit of a description on what is about to come. Overall, this was a pretty good State of the Galaxy, but we'll talk about some things in particular. But I want to give this first thing a thumbs up, and that is the Galactic Laid event structure. Now, what they gave us is a bit of detail about how we're going to be able to get the Galactic Legends. And what it is we're going to get a ticket system where we get tickets after we already have the prerequisites and have unlocked the event for the Galactic Legends. Now, I know there is a lot of worry in the community about another ticket system and walling, these kind of things, but if done correctly, this ticket system may actually provide a huge boost to the entire community. If you compare it to what we currently get in the raids, there is a chance, if CG does this correctly, that each of the times we do our attempts and we complete it, it'll be very similar to our own personal raids. And that could also help us bridge the gap that we currently have with gear. Gear crunch is a huge issue in the game, whether it's gear just to get characters to gear 13 or now needing to salvage those for relics. There are a huge amounts of uses for gear, not enough sources for the gear. So if the Galactic Legend events do give you shards on a consistent basis, again, meaning that once you get them to 7 stars, this can be a source for you for shard shop currency, and you're able to get gear from it just by completing it, this could be a major help to every player in the game. Now, again, it's a thumbs up right now in concept, but remember, it all depends on how CG enacts this. If they don't do it in this manner, we're going to have to come to a full review to see what exactly they're planning. And if it looks like the only purpose is to try and make it difficult for players to get shards with no benefit for players in the end game, then this is obviously going to get a thumbs down at that point. But until then, I'm going to remain a little bit optimistic and hope that this is going to be a big help. Now, the other part of this is the Galactic Legends art. Now, you may know here at RSG, we kind of make fun of the art at the Q&A sessions, and that's because this is not the appropriate time for that. There's usually so much going on in the community that talking about art during the Q&A when there are big issues going on in the game, like right now, it is going to be Galactic Legends, right? Back then, in the last one, we had major bugs hitting the game and trying to figure out when people are going to get back their watch shards, and there was a lot going on. So that is not a good time to actually focus on the art. The art actually probably needs its own segment. I will say that learning about how they do the wireframes for this Ray was pretty cool. Just kind of seeing how they went from each side, and they mentioned the increase in their polygon budget in one of the previous QAs. I would actually suggest to CG right now, just allow CG Raging Spaniard to do a weekly or monthly post about artwork progress in the game. It is not that there is not a lot of interest in it. The problem is, in a Q&A session, we want the real questions that affect our gameplay, and art is not one of those things. So because the art segment was pretty good, this part of the State of the Galaxy is getting a thumbs up. Now, the next thing that came was a post simply about the fact that Lando's Millennium Falcon was not taking the correct number of bonus turns if it was called randomly by the Radis. Now, I don't really have a big issue with this bug. It is something that needs to get fixed, but because of how CG burned me on the General Skywalker issue, which we're coming up to next, I'm neither giving this a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I do like the fact that they addressed it early but they just burned me on the General Skywalker stuff, and I am a little bit perturbed, but we're going to head into that right now. But this one, no thumb either way. So let's talk about the General Skywalker issue. Last week, I gave it a thumbs up because they quickly saw the issue, within one day responded, said they were looking into the bug. Now, I don't know how complicated this bug is, but it is definitely a bug. It has affected me a few times, where you would take down General Skywalker and all of a sudden before he goes into cover, he will counterattack. And this really does kind of hurt the CLS counter, which is what happened to me. So earlier this week, they came out with this post saying that they were going to do absolutely nothing about the General Skywalker bug, and in fact said that it did not impact the balance of the character. This is a sign that CG does not play their game enough, because if you have been affected by this bug, and I have, he counterattacks 1, maybe even 2 times, depending on who takes him out, and will counterattack and hit and go through the defense because that is what his basic does. That is a really big hit. And so my CLS team was actually affected by this 2 times in this past week. And for CG to say there is no balance of this character impacted, they have no idea what they're talking about. And I am not allowed to give more than 1, but this is definitely getting a major thumbs down because CG is going more towards being lazy and not fixing an issue rather than addressing the issue and fixing it. Now, I wonder where we have seen this before. Aha! Look right there. They did this exact same thing with the Jawas, where they first started off saying that they were going to do absolutely nothing, and then within a month realized that, hey, this is a bug. That means something is wrong. It could have more things wrong with it. And then they actually found the issue and then had to go back and correct it anyways. Why does CG not seem to learn from their own friggin' mistakes? At some point, CG is going to have to realize that we are not stupid, and they are the ones that are showing they are stupid every single week by trying to be lazy instead of actually doing work. So because of that, there is nothing more I can do except give this a thumbs down, and this is a major issue, and it is sad that CG has gone the route of laziness with everything while providing players 0 new content. And note to CG, new characters and new ships are not new content. The light side GOTB is hardly considered new content when nobody even mathematically can get the maximum amount. Dark side GOTB, I'll give you that one. That one I would consider content. Teams like TI and Ma have the ability to get the maximum stars, but it does require a lot of effort and relics. How you could even think about considering Lightside GOTB, which is a reskin of another TB, by the way, and new characters and ships? No, that is not new content. That is new ways for you to make money, which is fine. Make yourself money. Players need content or they're going to quit, so you don't have to go out of your way to talk to somebody like Sean from the Galactic War Report and try to get him to not quit because you make ass decisions. Now, I don't know how many of you feel the same way as I do. Maybe you have a bunch of questions for CG about what they are doing and how they're doing it and wonder why they come on the forum posts and say that they're not going to do anything. Who knows what the hell is going on? If you guys have questions, hooray, there is another live Q&A session for you on the 27th, next Friday. And I'm going to give this once again a big thumbs down. These Q&A sessions are the most asinine things in the game. Do we want them to answer questions? Yes. Do we want them to do it live? Yeah, if they have the time to, definitely do it live. Is doing it on a forum post, the way that they do it, considered a live Q&A? No. That is not considered live in any way, shape, or form. It is actually really frustrating to do it live. If you guys have followed one of these live while they're doing it, I would tell you right now not to. Crumb actually does not even put the posts in chronological order. He will actually interrupt his sequence where he's answering questions and go back and edit a response to a previous question. There is no way you can follow any of this stuff live. So why they consider this a live Q&A, I will never understand. The fact that they're just in front of their computer typing it does not constitute a live Q&A. CG, you do have platforms. You can make yourself a YouTube channel and stream it. Hell, you can find people that you trust in order to do it. And I'm not even talking about us, although RSG Communication Liaison Services is available for hire. But it seems like you guys trust the people of the Galactic War Report. Why not do a live Q&A with them and let them ask you the questions? There are a whole host of better ways in order to do your live Q&A, but this way is really, really bad. I don't think you should continue it in this format anymore. It needs to just go away. Find a different way to do your live Q&A. And of course, this gets a thumbs down because I already know how this is going to go. They're going to answer questions. They're really not going to answer them. They're not going to give us anything concrete. They may throw us one detail. We're going to get a section of art. They're not going to answer any of the difficult questions. And we've already seen with the General Skywalker, they're going to go the lazy route as long as they keep getting paid. So this is what the Q&A essentially amounts to. It is up to the players now to suggest the questions. Now, go ahead and go into that forum post. I have it linked in the description where you guys can go to the Crumb forum post, go to the SurveyMonkey link where you guys can submit your questions and submit any and all questions you have for them. Submit them all because that is what they need. I don't care what the question is. Submit them all. It doesn't matter. They're not going to answer it anyways, but you may as well submit it and have some fun with it. So overall, there wasn't a lot of quantity of news in this week. However, what has come out has been pretty impactful, and you guys already probably had an assumption with this. While I like the whole concept of the tickets potentially, I am not going to vote so much on potential. We have something really bad that happened in the community this week, which is them being lazy and not addressing the General Skywalker issue. So this week gets a big old fat thumbs down. CG has disappointed all the players in another week. Last week was based on lying to the player base and changing what they're doing. This week they are leaving a bug and have not learned their lesson from the Jawa incident. It doesn't seem like they ever learned their lesson, and until players actually decide that they are no longer going to be funding this kind of nonsense, then that is never going to change.
Dr. Finn, medicine woman, I've got a bad case of the SWGOH blues.
So thank you all very much for watching. I am Infinity with Reality Skewed Gamers. Thank you for watching this episode of Good and Bad. Please make sure that you check out the links over on the left. If you guys want to watch any more of the RSG content, definitely subscribe if you haven't. And otherwise, we will see you next week for another episode of Good and Bad.